Welcome to Beyond the Feed.
Beyond the
My
Feed.
name is Kalia.
And I'm James. Nice to be here.
We're so excited to be doing this. And yeah, wow. It's a little nerve-wracking because it's like something new. We've been doing social media for a while now, but like this is like new territory. We have like...
Very new. This is going to be a lot of fun though, because Kalia in particular has been dreaming about this moment right here for a long time.
I have. I've been
and it's
ready
finally here.
to do this, and I'm so excited. We finally are doing it.
Kalia was the mastermind behind the name, and I tell you what, it just sounds, it rolls off the tongue, don't it? Beyond the Feed.
Are you gonna tell them like why we called it that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, you're getting there. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
No, you're good. There's also going to be a lot of that going on too. We interrupt each other.
Yes, this is going to help us to try not.
For sure. Hopefully.
As I literally interrupt him.
That's okay. That's how we talk. Okay, so Beyond the Feed. Beyond the Feed, we kind of want to let y'all in on a closer, more personal, experience with us, beyond what y'all see on social media, beyond what y'all see on the feed. So this is when we have our best conversations in the evening when we're winding down.
Okay, so we've been talking about doing a podcast for some time now. However, it was a bit spontaneous it was spontaneous, but we have been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
But
we also talk about Lamborghini SUVs, the Urus, but
well, that's what
we ain't got that right now.
Okay, well, like James was saying, the whole purpose of us doing this is really just to grow a deeper connection with you guys, and really just to talk about things that we've experienced. We have some crazy stories for you guys, and I feel like this is like the perfect platform to be able to like come on here and talk to you guys, because TikTok and like Instagram and stuff, it's like it's short form, and like even YouTube, it's not the same as like a podcast. So like this is our chance to come on here and tell you guys about a story. Like we played college sports, he played football, I played soccer, we both have gone through injuries, like I've dealt with like mental health, like we've gone through a lot of different things, and so we're just like, this is a perfect platform, I think, to be able to like, if it helps just one person, then I'll be glad that we did it. So how you doing? What's new?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about this. I got to get used to also being with this mic next to my face. I've never felt so much like a country rock star. I'm about to start singing. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited for our trip tomorrow. We're going to Austin. We are working with the hotel down there. It's like a resort retreat thing. So I'm super excited for that, because I think it's going to be super relaxing.
I don't know what it's been in the past couple weeks, but I don't know about you. I've been drained. I have not been motivated to do any kind of content. You haven't. I've been in a slump.
I've been like dragging his ear to try and like do stuff.
Yeah.
We should just start off by, telling you guys about our story, how we got here, how we began our journey. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it off, babe.
Oh no, what a difficult task. It's tough because I don't think we've mastered our story yet. I think we have such a good story to tell, but we haven't really like wrote it down, articulated it, like
who cares?
Got it. Because I don't want to say it 500 times. If I could just say it a couple of times and it'd be really good, just get it down. I love that. Thanks for letting me know I'm overthinking it.
You are.
So me and Kalia, we met in college, good old University of Houston. We're both playing sports. Saw her in the training room a couple of times. Thought she was cute. Thought she definitely had a boyfriend. She did. I didn't even try. But what about your first time really seeing me?
My first impression.
Be honest.
Oh yeah, that's what we're here to do. We're gonna be honest, definitely. I saw him sitting at like on campus they have like different restaurants and stuff, and there was a McAllister's that me and my roommate would always go to, and he was sitting there by himself eating, and I knew he was a football player because I think I've seen him, like he was wearing football stuff, and I think I had seen him like around the training room and stuff like that. And so whenever I saw him, mind you, this is 19-year-old Kalia, okay? This is a different Kalia. I do feel bad because I was a bit judgy, but I was like, why is he sitting by himself? That's so weird. Because if you guys know, if you've been around football players or you know anything about athletes and just like, especially football players, like I swear I never see them alone. Like they're always with someone doing something. I was like, why is he sitting by himself? Like, that's weird. Okay, whatever. But I just thought it was weird. So that was like my first like impression of him. Like I guess, but I didn't know you. I was
Basically, her and her friend were talking
we.
because I was sitting by myself because apparently I'm not the cool kid.
First of all,
I was cool with sitting by myself. I don't need to sit by nobody.
No, I wasn't. We weren't judging. I just thought it was.
But what I
weird.
wish was that she would have came and sat with me. That would have been cool.
We met at.
Goat House party.
Yes, we met at a house party. Officially
My
at a
friends
house
drugged me out to the party.
party. Drugged you out?
Not
Yeah, but the way that
drugged me out. They
that sounds
forcefully.
weird. That sounds really weird.
They made me go to this party. I really didn't want to go, but they were like, "No, come on." And so we ended up going. Same with you, right?
Oh yeah, I actually wasn't. I didn't show up till the end of the party, but it's so funny that we both were in the same situation because I didn't want to go, and I think I only went to pick up some of my teammates who were there and to like take them home. And I was like, okay, I'll just come for a little bit, but I literally didn't want to go. Neither did he, and that's literally when we met, and we were like in the kitchen, and he like introduced himself, and he's like, my name's James, and I was like, yeah, like I've heard about you, because I had heard about him, which we'll get into that maybe down the road of how I knew about him.
Who says that?
Someone who's heard about you.
I went out my way. I went out of my way to introduce myself to somebody that was standing in my proximity, because that's just who I am. So I said, hi, I'm James. What's your name? And she said, oh, I've heard about you. Oh, really?
Yeah.
What have you heard?
Yeah, and I was like, no, I've heard about you. I know.
All bad things.
You did not say that.
I did say that because
Yeah,
I am.
You think you said that? You really genuinely.
Genuinely.
Yeah. So then a group of us decided to go to IHOP, and so we went to IHOP, and we ended up being there for several hours, like late. Yeah. And James and I were sitting across from each other. There was like 4, 5, 6, like 6 or 8 of us, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably 8.
It's like 8 of us, a couple of my teammates, and then him and one of his teammates. I'm very much the type, I don't put myself out there when it comes to guys, and definitely it's not necessarily like easy for me just to have conversations with people I don't know, like the way that we did. And we literally sat across from each other, and it was just like, right here, bro. We were just locked in, like just talking, like back and forth, like just about like.
She had very good banter. He likes banter.
He's been making fun of me because I've been saying banter here recently.
I like the word. I think
it's a cute word, and it's true.
A very cute word.
Me and you banter, and that's something that you guys are gonna see, because I think that like our social media side of it doesn't really show, like it shows how we are with each other, but I don't think people realize how much we be on each other's head. Like we be clowning each other.
Well, we both have a lot of siblings, so it's
that's true. Yeah, so that's what literally
it comes with the territory. Really.
Yeah, so we just literally like clown on each other. You know what I compare it to? I compare it to when I see some other couples, and I'm like, oh, y'all are so sweet to each other. Like, dang, y'all are not. Y'all
don't want
not that we're not. Not that we're.
I don't want that cute shit. Roast my ass.
Not that we're not cute with each other, but just like we have both sides. Okay, IHOP. So we were crossing. I also have ADHD, y'all. So if you don't know that, now you know that. So that might be a little bit. So does he. But his
I'm not
is
diagnosed.
Undiagnosed. I diagnosed him. He definitely does. Okay. Anyway, so
Back to IHOP.
So we were just like chatting it up the entire time and just got along really, really well.
We were trying to get our friends together.
That part.
So
Take me a while to get there.
my friend, her friend, we were just trying to get them to exchange the phone numbers, but both of them are a little bit more shy. And so eventually we were leaving IHOP. It's like 5 a.m. We done had a phenomenal time at IHOP. Kalia said, hey, I'll give James my number and you give him your number, and then we could like let them know when our next game is and they can come.
Yeah.
And that was Kalia's way of getting my number, but also setting up her friend as a wing woman.
Like and
it worked out really well.
I kid you not, I don't know what got into me. I didn't have a single drink. I wasn't like, I don't know what it was. It was God. That's what it was. Because literally in my head, I was like, okay, we're trying to set them up, but like, I want to talk to him more. Like, we just talked we were just going back and forth. Like, I've never felt so comfortable talking to someone, and I just met him. Like, it wasn't the liquor, it wasn't any of that. Like,
I smiled so hard.
I think I kind of do remember that.
I smiled so hard because I knew what she was doing. I was like,
I was in the car.
Oh, that was good. I did not see that coming. You did your thing. Maybe if you would have waited a little bit longer, I might have done it.
What? No, you wouldn't. Boy, bye. No, and because I was driving, so I was sitting in the.
They were sitting across. Yeah.
They were standing out
the passenger. She
Oh,
was in the passenger.
Oh, yes, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. So they were sitting, and I do remember looking at you and just seeing you like make eye contact with me, and you were just like smiling, and I was like,
played.
I try to play it off like, yeah, this is for y'all. Like, we got y'all. Like, that's not what it was. I mean, it was, but also I was like, I have to talk to him more. If you guys follow us on social media, then maybe you guys have seen that we always joke around about how we went from situationship to relationship.
Yeah.
So this was the beginning of our situationship. I didn't even know what a situationship was, I think, until I got out of the situationship. And I would see things, I'm like, that's what we were in.
We were such good friends.
Yeah. No, he became my best friend. So after IHOP, we, I think we're like texting.
We planned on a group hangout.
Bowling. We were all supposed to go bowling, right? Supposed to be a big group of us. And Nolan and Amy, I'm pretty sure Des was there. Yeah, and Des. We were all ready to go. Amy and Nolan were at my place. We were all ready to go, and I think it was a few hours before, like, I had texted James had texted me saying, hey, like, my friends, like, they're not going to go anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, Amy and Nolan were still ready to go, and then I was like, oh, well, Amy and Nolan are, like, da-da-da, like, they can still go. James didn't text me back. Mind you, he says he's playing basketball, whatever. I didn't know that, but, like, y'all have to understand from like my side, the way it looked, he's not texting me back. Like, he's not saying anything. It's getting closer and closer to the time, and I'm like, okay. And then Amy and me and Nolan were all talking. They're like, Clea, maybe he just wants to go with you. I'm like, what? No, this is supposed to be a whole group thing. He was like, well, you told him that like we weren't, like that we were still going. His friends aren't going. Like, maybe he didn't want to like go with just a group of girls. Maybe he just wants to go with you. So just tell him like we're not going. And I'm like, what? No. I text him and I tell him, okay, like my friends aren't going to go either. And he texted me back right away and was like, okay, cool. Like, we can just go. When I tell y'all, this is like a little girl in her room, like with her friends, like freaking out over like her crush on her. We were literally like, oh my gosh. Like, they're like, I was like, I don't know what to wear. Like, what do I wear? Is this a date? This isn't a date. Like, what is this? Like, Like, I kid you not. It was like I was so nervous. So we met at the bowling alley. This is like the school bowling alley. Nolan dropped me off at the bowling alley, and we did bowling, which was a lot of fun. I was so nervous, and I literally still have a video of my one video I took. Thank God. I'm so glad I took that video.
I was too. I'm glad you kept it.
October 5th of 2019 of James like bowling. He made a strike. He turned around. He like danced, and he was like, dare to like call me maybe.
Yeah.
From there we go to pay for bowling. And mind you, y'all, I've only had like 2 other relationships before this, like, and one of the previous one I had before him was like pretty serious. I mean, to the degree I thought was serious in high school. Like, we broke up into my freshman year, so like this is all very new to me. Like, it was like I was dating but like it wasn't a date. Like, it wasn't really a date. But anyways, so we go to pay for bowling, and he's like, oh, no, I got it. Like, because I was like, I'm not going to let him pay. Like, I'm going to pay for myself. Like, he's like, no, I got it. And it's so funny.
I have to.
It's so funny because I wish y'all would hear what he said before we were dating. He'd be like, it was, or even at the beginning of our relationship.
Number one, it was.
He'd be like, it was like $2. It's no big deal. Like,
first of all, it was like a fun Friday or something.
See?
So it was like $2 per bowler.
But y'all heard him just a couple
$4.
seconds ago, and he was like, oh, but
regardless, even if it wasn't a fun Friday, I was gonna pay for it. I'm not gonna make you pay for it.
Okay.
Regardless of date or not, it's just who I am. I'm paying for that.
But so we get in his car, and he's like, you want to go get food? And he's just so smiley, like, he was just so like, oh, this is like literally like reminiscing. Like, as y'all are hearing this, I feel like I'm just like reminiscing this. But like, so we get in the car, and he's like all smiley, and
I was having a good time.
he was like, you want to go get food? And I was like, sure. And so we go to like this Mexican restaurant,
Taco Pete.
Yeah, which that was my first time I think having it. It was all right.
It is very right.
It was just nice to be with him. But okay, when we were in the car, y'all, my love language and like my favorite music is 90s R&B. I grew up listening to that. My parents played that 24/7. Is between that, my dad would play jazz, or it's worship music, like gospel music. So Kirk Franklin, to be specific. So like 90s R&B, I think that's what made me a lover girl, is listening to that growing up. And mind you, we don't really know each other that well. It's our first time hanging out. He doesn't know me no more than I know him. Like, we don't know each other. And we get in the car, and he turns on Keisha Cole. What song was it? The Trust? No, not Trust.
It was
Trust. I think
either Trust or Heaven Sent.
I think, yeah, one of those. Anyways, he turned it on, and I kid you not, I literally was like,
and honestly,
it's
so funny that you say that, because it was a significant thing. But to me, it wasn't at the time. Literally, just be yourself when you go on a date, or when you just go hang out. Just be yourself. It works out. And
honestly, it didn't even, because I think most people would probably look at our relationship and maybe look at, like, you're a white guy and I'm a black girl, and like our first time we're hanging out and you play Keisha Cole. Like, it wasn't even like that at all. And it's like, now knowing, like, even I didn't think that in that moment, because he was singing the song. He was not shy at all, y'all. He was like singing word for word. It wasn't like he just turned on a song. Like, he loved that song. The way he was singing, I was so shy. It's funny because now y'all see us like turning up together. But it took me a minute to like get comfortable like doing that. Like, I'd be like this. I'd be like, he'd be like, sing it, girl, sing it. And I'm like, boy, chill out, bruh. Like, I don't even know you.
That's the one thing that my dad really did good with me on. It was music.
Music, yes.
He loves music so much. And so just growing up, I was listening to all kinds of music.
Even just going to his parents' house now, like he listens to like he has all these CDs and stuff. Like, his dad loves music.
He's got his surround sound system hooked up all around the house, on the outside of the house. So when we're working outside, he's got it jamming. Yeah. So music's always been a big thing for me. So if I like the song, you better believe I'm gonna sing it. Might not be good, but
like, no other guy that I had been with before even knew anything about 90s R&B. I'm like, oh, bro. Like, so for the fact that first time I'm hanging out with him, he's playing this, I was literally like, what is going on?
And we had a good night of bowling.
Yes, it was so fun. It was just so natural. Like I said, like I'm not the type of person to be like super flirtatious or like put myself out there. Like it takes me a while to warm, at least when it comes, I feel like with like girls, I'm easier, like friendship wise, like, but with like men, like I'm not like that at all. Like it was just so easy, like to talk to each other. Like it was just,
Yeah, so we had 2 great first interactions.
So from there, we went to Taco Pete and we ate there, just kept talking, and then he also paid for that too. And I was like, is this a date? Like, what is going on?
And I always say it was a date, but only because we ended up together.
Yeah, like which is so crappy. Do you hear that? It's
if
only a date because we ended
would've-
up together. If we didn't end up together, you would just been another girl I went and hung out with for a little bit. That's what that sounds
Not
like.
just another girl, my friend.
Yeah, y'all. So
But we made it.
y'all, my soccer team, look, U of H soccer girls know. They, for a whole, year and a couple months, James and I were walking around the alumni, which was like the facility at U of H, the athletic facility that like all the sports, like
Athletes.
all the sports and athletes like would always hang out in and whatnot. We were thinking we were being secretive, but not really. Everyone could tell the way that we were hanging around each other, like that we weren't. Everyone would ask us. I remember. Do you remember us being in Walmart one day, and some random guy like was walking down the aisle? I literally remember this like it was yesterday. He was walking down the aisle. He walks, and I saw him walk by, and then I saw him come back, and he was like looking at me, and he came down, and he's like. And I think he asked you, he's like, is that your girl? And you're like, oh, no. And
I do. Do
you remember that?
I think I do. Anyway, he asked, like, he was like trying to hit on you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so he asked, but he asked you first. Like,
yes.
He was like, is that your girl? And you're like, oh, no.
That's crazy.
And then what did he say?
That thought was way back in there.
I don't
that
remember.
Memory was
what
deep down there.
Did he say anything?
Yeah,
to me, I don't remember.
He asked me, and then I had said, no, like, we're just friends. And then, and then he came up to talk to you, but then you said something. You kind of basically told him no without hurting their feelings. But then we walked off after that. We're like,
yeah. But do you remember that happened like 2 or 3 times? Maybe not 3, but I think I remember happening a few times where someone or people would just assume that we were together and be like, oh, y'all are cute, and we're like, oh, like we're not together. But it's so funny that used to happen when we weren't together. But now that we're together, that doesn't ever happen to us.
Well, now it's, oh, y'all are married.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well,
not yet, and we're getting there.
I mean, yes and no. That doesn't happen that often, but
that happens a lot.
But isn't that crazy how like whenever we weren't dating, we had several people who'd come up to us and be like, "Oh, are y'all dating?" Like. Mm-hmm. Or like y'all are cute, or then we'd be like, we would feel so awkward. We'd both be like, oh, we're not together. Like, but then y'all, we were buying each other. So the first time we hung out was in October, November, December. 2 months later, we're buying each other Christmas gifts, and James he want to scrunch up his face like it's just nothing. But like, I got so me, him, Chandler. And my roommate were all really close. Like there was 4 of us that were like hanging out all the time. Yeah. And that's how James and I got really close, but it was like a friend group. Like we would hang out 24/7, and that's how we became like best friends. And it's funny because backtrack to like the first time we hung out, I told Des, one of my friends, that I'm either going to marry that dude or we're going to be best friends for the rest of my life. Like there's no way I don't see him being in my life for the rest of my life.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. You got that down in writing? It sounds good. You write that down though? You got a text message or something?
You know that are you just messing with me?
I've heard that before.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like,
I've
definitely told you that before.
That's pretty cool.
But
I will say, one thing I'm really excited about is that I can tell my kids that I did not meet my wife on social media.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, though.
No, but I feel like we're the last of our kind. Like everybody meets on social media. I DM'd her, da. Yeah. No, we met in person.
No, that is true. At a house party. And you know what's funny? What I just found out this past Thanksgiving, that apparently all, like my mom, my aunt, my nana and my papa, which are my mom's parents, all have met each other at like a club or bar party, which is funny because we're not even that type of family. Like we have fun, but like it's
Sound like love in the club.
when they were talking about that, I was like, James and I met at a house party.
Sure did.
And they're like, my mom was like, oh, both of us had just gotten out of a relationship. What, like 2 years? Both of us had been with the previous person that we were with.
Yeah.
For at least like 2 years. Both of us saw those people as we were gonna marry. We both thought our previous relationships were gonna be the one, and then so whenever we met each other, yeah, obviously not. We were wrong, clearly. But once we met each other, we were both fresh out of those relationships, and so I remember because I had told some of my teammates like that I thought he was attractive, that I really liked him, like hang out with him and stuff, but also like I couldn't even talk about my ex without crying. I didn't want to be in a relationship at all, and he definitely didn't want to be in a relationship, being that like he was fresh out of a relationship. And so
I was like 3 months out of a 2-year relationship. I was like, I'm not trying to have none of that.
Yeah. So, but I do remember one party, one of my teammates, like going up to him and being like, Kalia really likes you, like she wants to be with you. And I'm not gonna lie, I love you, girl, but like that pissed me off because I was like, what are you talking about? First of all, it's embarrassing because that's not true. I don't want to be in a relationship with this boy. Like I'm still fresh out of my relationship.
That, and I was like, how do I take this? I was smiling. I was like, yeah. She was kind of getting on my ass though too. She was kind of like, you need to make a decision. You need to get serious. And I was like,
is that like a Halloween party? Oof. Like, yeah, I remember that. But then I like went. I think I saw y'all talking. And I like went up to you and I'm like, please, I didn't tell her to do that. Like,
but I understood. It's a friend trying to be a friend.
Yeah, so. It was all with good intention. But so yeah, fast forward, we just kept hanging out, and obviously the more time we would hang out, the further I would like fall for him. And so we just ended up hanging out still 20.
We tried to take a break.
7. Yeah. So I did bring up a couple times. I think I got to a certain point eventually where I was like, hey, like I really do like you, like, and I really do want to be in a relationship with you. And he'd just be like, I don't want to be in a relationship. Like, I just don't want to do that. And so I was like, okay, on social media, like everyone, like the last I posted just a couple days ago, like I know you haven't seen it, but like, was it
a story or was it?
No, it was the one we posted on TikTok. The so glad I said yes to the girl who went from being in who waited for me to go from a situation to a relationship. Someone was like, "This is not it. Can we not normalize this?" Da, 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 da. And so, granted, I get first scroll like you seeing that, but like,
can we please get off of this normalized trend? I'm so tired of hearing that. Can we normalize? Most of the time it's already normal.
But basically people are just saying like, you're so desperate, da, 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 like just ridiculous comments. And I'm like, y'all don't know the full story, which is also, goes back to why we want to start this podcast, because we get to talk more into depth about just, our story and the things we've been through and the things like we have opinions on and like and whatnot. And so, but every single time I post anything about situationship, I realize like a lot of people are in that type of situation. Like a lot of people are, and every single. No. It's normal. I mean, I guess it is kind of a little normal, but
honestly, it was the best situation for us. It was supposed to happen the way it happened, and it did. I knew I was not ready for a relationship,
and I wouldn't change a thing. Yeah. I would not change a thing. If I would have
dove in and been like, forced myself to be ready for a relationship, it might not have ended the way it ended or the way it is now, because I don't think I would have been ready. I think I would have messed it up, honestly. And so I'm glad I had enough self-control to not just be a yes person and fall into that
100%, just because I was wanting that. Yeah,
because I knew she wanted to be in a relationship, and I was like, I know, but I could have done a better job of distancing ourselves, but it was so difficult because we were such good friends.
Yeah, because, and that's why I go back to saying, like, we became literally best friends, like, to where we, like, it was hard not to be around each other because we were hanging out 24/7.
Yeah.
And it was over a year. I think it was like November. So it was like about a year and like a month where we were like, I got to a certain point where I was like, dude, I've been doing this for a year. I have a lot of people in my ear too about it. My mom couldn't stand this boy.
Oh, Miss Callahan.
My mom couldn't
some heat
stand
from me.
him
She was not happy
at all. I stopped telling her about him, just things about him.
She pulled me aside one time.
My birthday.
She pulled me outside of the Breakfast Club in front, and she was like, you don't need to kiss my daughter if you're not ready to be in a relationship. I was like, I was so surprised that she said that, because I guess I wasn't expecting it. She's so direct, and I was like, oh wow, this is coming at me quick. I better mature up real quick. And I was like, yes, ma'am. I completely understand. And then I did say, I was like, that is gonna be difficult. Because I really do like your daughter.
Oh, you did say that.
But
which was sweet.
I'm just not ready for a relationship right now. And she said, well, you need to figure it out. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
I do remember that. Wait, did my
so
aunt
funny.
talk to you too?
I think she did too.
I think
but there was one that was way more memorable. I was like,
Which is so fun. Y'all, my mom, I
together.
could not, like, did not like him because she knew that I really liked him and I wanted to be in a relationship with him, but he didn't want to be in a relationship with me. And so I think there was a point, I don't really remember, but there was definitely a point where I just stopped talking about him to my mom because obviously she's just gonna tell me everything like I already knew, like, and so I just wasn't talking to her about it because she was right though too. 100%. Moms are always right. And so, yeah, but now they're besties. They love each other.
Love you, Miss Callahan.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
They're now she loves James because he made the right decision. I guess, okay, I mean, I've talked a lot about like my point of view of it. And I think like whenever I posted on social media about it, like it's always the female. It's not males who are like, man, I have this girl in this situationship and I'm the one who, like, it's always the females who are like going through it and like probably wondering what the males are like thinking about, like why they're in that situation. Because I know from my point of view, during everything that was going on between us, like I wanted to be with you, but you couldn't commit. And I knew like your previous relationship, like how toxic it was and like how it wasn't the best relationship. And I knew like nobody's perfect, but I just saw so much potential in you. So I feel like a lot of other females like are in that position where like, whereas, okay, so on the other side of that, I've seen a lot of girls comment how like they're in a bad situationship, like where that wasn't the case for me. And I think that's where you have to like separate the two of what a situationship is. Like, are you in like one of someone who he can't commit because maybe he's been hurt before and he thinks he's not ready, and I'll let you talk more on that? Or are you like in a situationship where he is like toxic and like also doesn't want to commit?
I would say, first of all, I'm never going to try to play the victim on that one. I was just as toxic, and it is majority my fault, I will say, from my previous relationship.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like I could have said no earlier, or could have gotten out of the relationship earlier, but ended up I chose what I chose, and we both were at each other. So it didn't end well, and a lot of that's my fault. I was just as toxic. So going into the situationship with you, I was not looking to get in a relationship anytime soon after that relationship, after it was over. So I knew that whenever we became friends, but there was just that attraction, and we just talked so well. It was like hard not to continue talking to you about not surface level stuff, but like meaningful stuff. We would stay up at Raising Cane's for hours in the night. And it's like when you're having those conversations, event, you just grow closer.
Yeah.
So it was like
Talking about life, like it was never from the jump. I think
Yeah.
when we were at IHOP, it was never surface level conversations. It was always
no,
like,
and it was so natural.
yeah.
So it was hard. It was hard to stay away. It was hard to be like, okay, not get an attachment, not grow feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I knew that for our situationship, I was not ready for a relationship because I was like, I see wifey material in front of me for sure. Like I was like, this girl, this is a wife right here. She's got all the qualities of a wife, not just some fling, not just some girlfriend, a wife. And I knew that from an early time. So I was like, I'm not trying to mess this up. Let me get myself right first before we get into that. And I think what really helped was our friendship. Because once we built this amazing friendship, our foundation was so solid. I was like, I cared about you on such a level, just being friends. So whenever we became girlfriend boyfriend, it was like, that's my best friend too. Like I'm not trying to hurt her. I'm not trying to. I want her to be as happy as she could be. So from my perspective, it was really just me getting my stuff together for a relationship, a long relationship, because I knew that's what this was going to be. This was going to be a lifetime relationship. And even though some people didn't like it, that's okay. Y'all had every right to not like it because y'all were on the back end of that one. Y'all had to help Clea out because she was ready and I wasn't. I know there's a lot of times their situationships can be bad. So I appreciate y'all's support with her, even if y'all were talking crap about me. But but it all worked out how it's supposed to. So
the thing that like made me, because it was so hard, because like you said, we were like best friends. It was so hard to, let go, and what made us, jump or like spring into us becoming a couple was me realizing like, okay, look, like we've been doing this for a year. What?
yeah, she gave me that ultimatum. Boy.
Yeah, I did. And I'm not an ultimatum girl, but you know what? It ain't bad to throw an ultimatum out here and there, especially if it's, to protect yourself. But like,
I just need a little push.
it was so hard though. It was the hardest thing that I had to do. Like, and I remember like tussling with myself about it. And even, I think I remember talking to Des about it and being like, I'm going to give myself a timeline. Like, she's like, give yourself a timeline. Like, if after this time, like, he's not at least willing to work towards a relationship or ready to be in a relationship, then, like, cut it off. You have to get, like, because it got to a certain point, it's like, I fell in love with him. Like, so it got to a certain point where it was like, we've been doing this for a year, or almost, like, a year and a few months.
What
like,
year did we start dating? March.
If it's about to be, in March is about to be 4 years, so.
I think March of 2021.
No, it has to be 2020 because it's about to be 2024, and that will be 4 years. It was right Nolan's birthday. You asked me out that night when we went out for, which is so crazy, y'all.
Crazy.
Nolan dropped me off to hang out with him for the first time, and then he, not even purposely, we celebrate her birthday, and later on that night, I tell him that I love him, and he asked me to be his girlfriend.
And not only that, but that same night that No dropped her off to hang out with me, she went and hung out with Kenneth,
who is her now husband.
One of my friends, who they ended up getting married.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened that night.
I know,
everybody
something.
was in love.
God was working his magic, night. Okay?
What's up, Kina? Come here. Mama's boy.
You just called him up and he came straight over to me. I didn't even call him. To his mama.
I can't believe that.
He's so sweet. For those of you guys who don't know, this is Kenai. If you haven't watched Brother Bear, you need to watch it because that's where I got his name from. It's such a cute movie. If you have any kids, they need to watch it. It was me and my brother's favorite movie growing up. So that's where I got his name
Kenai,
from.
Man, that is a story in itself. The way I was raised, animals, in particular dogs, do not belong inside. Outside animals belong outside unless it's like a goldfish or something.
No.
And so Kalia had Kenai, and I can't believe I just said that like that because that sounds like you had him like it's your son for real.
He is my
It's
son.
ridiculous. No,
And you
but
know
dogs
it.
belong outside, and I was strong on that. I was like, I am not sleeping with a dog in my bed. That sounds ridiculous. And here I am. I love this little dude.
He's a Pekingese and a poodle. I've had him literally since James and I met.
What are we going to call y'all? What?
Yeah, I'm going to leave that up to y'all. You know, because we need an intro because this started really rough. I'm not going to lie. I know it did. And it's funny because I had an image or like a view of how like the intro was going to go. And it went completely opposite, which like it always does, you know, and things never go as you plan because God laughs at our plans and he, you know, he gives you something different. So like when we started this, it was rough. And I was
it's very rough. It's going to be fun.
Because we were nervous once we pressed record and like we we're like, oh, this is real.
It's going to be fun looking back at this and being like, whoa.
I think it was a pretty good episode. It was a good episode one.
We're
posting this, so
I think it was good
James,
content. I think we talked about a lot of good stuff.
We did.
I think our setup is lacking.
I think the setup isn't bad. I don't think the setup is that bad. It's a work in progress. Look, I've learned.
2 chairs and a light.
Look, it's about to be 20. What'd you say?
We should call this 2 chairs and a light. Cause that's what we got right now. We're gonna add something. We're gonna add some plants.
Yeah.
We're gonna add like a sign.
We actually have another light.
That's kind of cliche. Everybody does that.
No, I don't want the neon sign. Everyone does that.
Neon sign,
it's
but
not cute.
else.
We got to put something.
Maybe get your mom to paint something.
That would be cute. That's a good idea because my mom is a really good painter, y'all. She won't ever admit to that, but she's really good. So if you guys have any ideas of what we should put, you know, on this wall, we have 2 of these lamps, and I was gonna actually have them. If you guys have seen, on like TikTok or Instagram, we have them downstairs, like in our living room. Then James moved it right here, and I actually do like it right here. I don't know about having it. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna pull a Kalia on Kalia.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just gonna buy something.
Yeah, that's
and
what
see
you have
if
to
she
do.
likes it or not.
That's what you have to do.
When it's already here.
Y'all can't see it on video, but there's these little side tables right here. They're actually really cute. They're actually pretty.
They are, but I've told Kalia, quit buying furniture on Amazon. You
James is a hater.
What you pay for.
Hater.
And she would not
hater.
She would not show me what
Amazon hater
like,
is James.
Thank God for next day delivery because they wouldn't have got here. I would have sent them things back.
James is I don't understand.
I like to touch it. I like to feel it.
Amazon.
I like to get a visual of it before I purchase it. So buying stuff online is just not the way to go for me. I like to be there. I like to see it.
So we're going to just rewind to like the beginning of this podcast episode and to show you guys how when I said James likes to be in control and it's not that deep. It's not that serious.
I go with the flow, baby.
No, you're not going with the flow though. He's not going with the flow. No.
I know when to say no.
Because it's not that serious. I'm so excited to start doing this with you guys every week.
Yeah. All right. Well, we hope that y'all enjoyed our little story time.
Yeah.
Getting to know us better.
Let us know what you guys want to hear next. If you guys aren't already, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Like and subscribe if this is on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't know if this is gonna be on Spotify yet or not. I would like for it to be, but that's something that we haven't looked into completely yet. So if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram because we're gonna be posting a Q&A like for the next episode because we want to get y'all's feedback. We want to talk about things that you guys want help with, things that you guys want to grow with. And, you know, just something to keep in mind is that like as we make these episodes, we're also growing as well. We may not have the perfect answer, but we're trying also. And I think it's just important to keep that in mind that we're growing with you guys and we're excited to bring you guys along into a deeper beyond what you guys see on social media, and we're just super excited to like, you know, give you guys an insight of our relationship and just like things that we've been through, and just hope, like I said, like if we can help one person with this podcast, like that's the goal, and that will mean the absolute world to me. So yeah,
Couldn't have
hope you
said
guys.
it. Couldn't have said it better myself. That was beautiful. That was perfect.
I love you. You're so cute.
I love you.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this.
We'll get better.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We'll get better.
Be kind to one another.
Be kind to one another.
We love you guys. Thank you. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.